Welcome to the Fine Print, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caleb Teskey, and today I'm joined by other Caleb. Caleb Houston here from Swanton, Vermont. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Caleb, thanks for being here, man.
No problem. Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Zach Smith here for kind of linking us up. Word up to Zach. Good man.
Bringing two Calebs together.
Yeah, right. This is a first here. Would you mind sharing your 5-minute life story with us before we get into anything?
Okay, so basically, I call self-identified trauma survivor. Lost my father to suicide in 2009, which happened to be the year prior to me enlisting in the military, where the name kind of gets the veteran status. A lot of people imply that with the military service being PTSD, where a lot of people don't realize that traumatic stuff happens outside of the military. So pairing those things together, I didn't really notice the impact it would have, because being 16 at the time, you're still figuring out your life and who you are and what emotions are. So you didn't know the grasp of the severity of what it meant. And being a father myself, now I have 2 children out of the military myself. I've been diagnosed with PTSD myself. I've found myself going down those same avenues where I would find myself in the path of a very destructive way of living, and it was detrimental to not only myself, but now I had dependents, and it wasn't just about me anymore. And so it was really a reality check from my wife, and she's like, not to give me an ultimatum, but it's you need to really work on yourself if you want. She knows how bad you want the family, but you got to really be fixing yourself before you can do that. And so my in-laws, they were avid consumers of cannabis, and I said, whatever, I'm out of the service. I had kind of lost my path after that, so I was like, what's the harm in it? And so I started recreationally using a little bit here and there, and then I started noticing that it had a medicinal benefit to it. Well, we all knew that, but to see it actually in the works, it's gotten me to the point where I've limited my prescriptions. I'm down to where I don't have to depend on quote unquote narcotics.
What kind of prescriptions were you taking?
There was fluoxetine, there was Prozac, there was Traxidone. It was basically antidepressants, and then one was like a booster, like it based on what the fluoxetine would do. The Traxidone was supposed to boost that and enhance that and help your sleep, because I had the most ridiculous sleep patterns. My eating habits were terrible. It took a lot.
How did you feel like those? How do those drugs make you feel as opposed to cannabis, like the trazodone and that kind of stuff?
It made me feel controlled in a way, because I'm very big on visuals, and the fact alone that you take a seed and you plant it in the ground and it grows up. That's just like a human being. Now you take the imagery of the prescription bottle. Now you have the pharmacy's details on there. They have your details. They have when you can use this. This is your dosage. This is how you should do it. And you got this control. But with cannabis, it's your body recognizes what it needs. It always adjusts. So you're not on a fixed schedule. You're not on a fixed dosage. It fluctuates just like life goes. And when you start to think about all the ways that works, the healing of it is already in the thinking of it. So the stories that you can make those connections with, and I can't make those connections with a pharmaceutical pill. You know what I mean?
You don't feel connected to Prozac?
No. And like when someone tells you, like, how do you connect cannabis to your life? And I say, well, same thing with your buds. Would you rather have a big old bud, or would you rather have the small larfy shit on the bottom? And they said, well, I'd rather have the big buds. I'm like, exactly. So just like life, you don't worry about the small stuff.
I kind of like some of the popcorn nugs.
Sometimes here and there, but you don't really got to worry about the small stuff.
Sure.
It's that easy. And so
And I want to talk to you about what we've been talking about, but I was hoping maybe we could talk a little bit about your military experience first,
sure,
if that's something you're comfortable with.
sure. Um,
Yeah.
so really my military story starts for me in 2010, but I grew up with the military. So my mom was still actively serving throughout my childhood. So I saw my share of what the military service would do on the receiving end from the families in the back home. Um,
Was your mom deployed overseas?
Yeah, she did. Myself, my brother, multiples.
So
So
you're kind of a military family a little bit.
definitely, and that was the big push for me to join, was because I was the youngest sibling and I was the last one to go in. So, because I really get to see, I was about 9 when the 9/11 attacks happened. So, I saw that big drastic change in culture and because what happened from the one weekend a month became, well, all of a sudden mom's leaving and I have no idea what's
Oh,
going on.
she was in the guard.
Yeah, she was in at that time. She just barely got out, actually, I think last year or 2 years ago.
Wow.
So she served a while. Yeah.
Word.
So but she did that, and she did her story, her tour, I mean, 2010.
Where'd she
And the
go?
first one was Kabul, and the second one was Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, both times. And my brother was with her on the second one, actually.
Wow. Your
So,
brother
so
went to
actually,
Afghanistan with your mom.
so literally, this is actually a cool thing. So they actually got national news and recognition for this because they were stationed right across the road from each other. So they got to spend Mother's Day over there. They got to a lot of their holidays they got to spend together. So it was good for them.
What does your brother do in the military? Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh no, you're good. When he was there at the time, he was an infantryman, and now I believe he's moved over to a different unit. So I think he changed specialties.
Hmm.
So, but he's got it in his blood too. So,
Now, when they came home, how was it for them reintegrating?
uh, I can answer that from the 11-year-old me, from
Yeah,
what I saw.
sure.
Like I said, being younger, you don't realize the magnitude of things. You don't realize what your parents are going through. But I didn't realize the culture shock it was going to be for her, because I was helpless when they would be at a red light and she's reaching for her firearm. She doesn't know where it is because you can't stop.
Mm.
And it still instills in you. And how do you get somebody out of that panic when you're in a passenger seat in the back of a car and you don't know what to say to them, and it's hard. It's a helpless feeling, and it's just,
That's fun.
you could see change. Sorry.
It's not funny you said that. I don't want to say it's funny you said
No,
that,
no,
but I've had a number of people tell me, like Doc Vines told me, when he came home, there's this sort of hyper vigilance that goes on. He's like, when you're driving around Afghanistan, everything on the side of the road, every little wire or rock or something could be a IED, and you develop this sort of hyper vigilance, and then you come home and then you're sitting at a red light wondering,
right,
if this is an ambush or something.
right.
Hmm. That must be
It's
just tough to deal with.
and it's hard to watch. It's almost, and not to compare it. Like, I know everybody's going crazy with Tom Brady's comparisons, but I'm not going to compare it to that. But it's almost like having a loved one with dementia or something, and having to remind them constantly that this is it. This is who you are. This is what we're doing. This is where we are. Bringing them back. But it feels like that.
Mm.
Like, you have to. They know their place, but they don't know their place.
Mm.
Like, I know I'm your mom, but now you could see that change. You could see, and that's where it all started, because living with a single parent, and now she comes back different too.
Mm.
Where does it go? And so that's where a lot of the things they carried into each other. So between that 2003, my father 2009, I I didn't realize stacking on top of each other, that you don't just get rid of a symptom. And that's why I don't like the whole prescription thing, is because you don't run out of depression, you don't run out of anxiety. You can't tell me I have a count of 30 pills to keep me happy. No, And that's the thing about plants. No plant's the same. It's just like a snowflake. You could water this one the same way, and you're not going to get the same results. You know, and
Are
and,
you
and
are you a grower?
I am.
Right
I
on.
absolutely am.
How long have you been doing
Absolutely.
that?
3 years.
Cool. What
Three
made you
years.
start?
Uh, I'm cheap and I didn't want to buy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I should have taken up that same position.
That's the only thing. That's how it started, but it turned into so much more after that, though. I'm telling you.
Hmm. Now you said when you came home, it sounded like you were a bit of a mess, huh? And
Oh yeah.
and you said you had these sort of destructive behaviors. Like I don't know, were you drinking a lot? What do you could you define destructive?
Well, before I got destructive, it became impulsive. So
Hmm.
so I wouldn't necessarily have something coming up where it's like you can see me getting agitated, built up, built up. It would be literally the slightest little mundane thing and snap.
Yeah, right.
And, and then from there, and it would be things like you don't even want to do it. It's like you lose who you are. I've broken windows before. I've punched holes in the walls, and like, come on, like, who's gonna fix that now? I own the house. Now I gotta fix. Now I'm even more mad.
Just
So what good does that do?
punch another hole. We
Oh,
got
that's right. It's
no,
like,
yeah, yeah.
but it's like those things, like, and like, I didn't care because I never had my dad to yell at me for that. But now I have this little mini me walking around watching me.
Hmm.
And he needs the male role model, and that's just because I didn't have one doesn't mean I can't be one.
Hmm.
And so that's where I
Hmm.
took the big drive for it, was like, I want to be the best me so I can give them the best, because what I lacked in my childhood should not be generational. Why can't I stop that?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna quote you on that. That's going on a fucking meme right there.
Put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt.
That's
You know?
beautiful, man. I could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
I had a dog once. I don't have kids, but I had the dog. It was the same way. I
Oh,
could see
same
myself
thing.
like sometimes I would just get angry, start screaming, and she goes running into the crate, and I'm like, ah, it's not good. I'm just fucking scaring the shit out of my own dog. Like
Right.
we gotta get that
Like,
under control.
right.
Uh,
And it's one of those things where it's okay to have emotion. It's okay to teach them to have emotion, but don't make it an excuse to, oh, well, daddy has depression, so he occasionally will punch a hole in the wall. No, that's not the new norm.
but
You don't need to make that the thing. It shouldn't be justified. Well, it's like when you go to court, or not like you go to court all the time, but you know if they say, well, if the defendant was drunk at the time of it, then they kind of get off on the charge. No, no, no. We're responsible for every single
yeah, right.
action. So if you're gonna throw it at me, then you lead up to those actions, and you can't forget that. And it's just like I just barely delivered these things in the mail. Those religious books, and the quote on the back. I don't know if you've seen any old memes where it's like saying, like, we need not forget the past unless we erase, or we need not fear the future if we don't forget the past, something like that. And I'm thinking, how ironic is that you're mailing this out in a country where we're taking down all of our statues and forgetting our history,
Mm.
just so we're bound to go right back to where we started.
Mm. Interesting point there, sir.
Well, it's a little gateway to a whole nother avenue, because if you can, I mean, I'm gonna get flack for this, but
Oh,
I've been thinking it forever, and I think so. So if we've gotten to a point where the world is crazy enough to appeal Roe versus Wade, I'm pretty sure we can get rid of fucking black rights too. So call me far-fetched, but it sounded like a joke before. And if we start forgetting what we're doing, we're heading right down a destructive path again. And that's why we need to stop it. So those people that said, like, when Martin Luther King was 30 years old, well, guess what? Caleb Houston's 30 years old. Now I'm going to be that guy. Why
you
not?
gotta
Why
be.
can't we be those guys?
Hey, I mean, we can, but
Right.
like, don't cheat on your wife as much as he did, or something.
Well, no, as far as the movement goes, I don't want to have a family tree of just spawns, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm.
No.
Can I now? I see at the bottom here your title says Vindicated Veteran, and I was hoping maybe you would explain that a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, it's a good one. So it's a twisted story with it. Um, I like obviously when you join the military, you gotta shave your head, clean shaven face, and all that stuff. Totally not what you get here.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like what the logo represents is me budding out into who I am. Because a big part of my mental health journey was identifying myself and who I was. Because growing up in a rural Vermont area, there's not a lot of African American culture where I live in a small county,
Yeah,
unless you're going
zero.
unless you're looking at the prison. But I mean, that's different. But the thing was like I needed to find who I was so I could be comfortable in my own skin. Not like like a gender thing or whatever, but just who I was, so I could wake up, look in the mirror, and say, I like that. And when you do all that, it gives you that feeling of vindication. And that's where the name came from. I was like, I'll be the vindicated veteran because now I know who I am and now I know my purpose. Because one thing leads to another, one door opens and you just follow, that's where it goes. And what became a joke as a name ended up taking off as a character. And
I've had a lot of jokes take off. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but mine wasn't supposed to go like that. Like I took off because I went topless. And it wasn't a very good video. But hey, it happens, right? Right? It's like if you buy on wish.com, you don't get what you want. So it happens. But and then I wanted to use that as a platform because I have attempted numerous times, in the past, before I had children, and it only took me once where I almost did it again with children, and my wife was like, "Listen, again, it's not about you anymore," and I was like, "This needs to go into high gear. We need to figure it out." And so I started doing like little charities here and there, like because I like not a professional comedian, but I like to make people laugh. And if you can, and it's that simple thing. If I can make a person smile in their day, then that's one person that I've helped. I might not save their life, but they're gonna remember me. And so that's why there's the goofy headband. That's why there's the sunglasses. They're like, you look so stupid on that TikTok video, but you remember it.
I know. I see some of your TikToks there.
Right.
Yeah,
They're ridiculously stupid, but people remember them. And you know what?
TikTok is like that.
But you know what though? Like, I mean, if I could just laugh at myself one night, whatever, then it helps. And so, like, that's the thing is like when I say everything happens for a reason. I'm currently not working anymore because I decided to pursue my own self-worth. So that's what I'm doing.
And I know you want to talk about that, so we can get into that whatever you want, man.
Oh boy. Yeah, whenever. I mean, so we're working on that little Vindication Nation thing. Did you hear about that one, right?
No.
Yes, you have.
Well, go. You talk. The more you talk, the less I have to talk. So that is great.
Well, that's not my job, though, sir.
Well, let's start with
my cue card says it's Caleb's turn.
Let's start. You want to start with the job thing then?
Yeah, which side of it?
I don't know. Start wherever you like. I'm not sure. Tell us the whole situation. How long you been there? What you were doing?
So basically, I've been an avid mailman for 6 years, and I was the cool guy with the awesome hair delivering all the mail. Customers loved me, right? Customers loved me. Not to toot my own horn, but whatever. And I was working with them throughout the pandemic, throughout short staffing, all that, and it got exhausting. 10-hour days, which ended up being 12 because I live an hour away from work, so it'd be an hour drive back and forth. 6 days a week, and it got tolling on you. You started feeling distant from your family. You don't get to see them anymore, and I started like I could feel myself waving. You can't identify what it is, but something's not adding up and clicking. And I just knew something was coming. And so about November last year, as part of my journey, I decided to go make the TikToks. And I was originally the Mocha Mailman on there.
Nice.
And so I would do like random things, like slipping on the ice, just little funny things to make the post office look good again. Like maybe somebody would apply if they saw this guy on TikTok. So you see him all the time. You see him everywhere. Like if you search USPS on TikTok, you'd probably get all kinds of people to do it. Well, I went viral as that, and a few videos took off, and blah blah blah. Word of mouth got caught local. I got my butt chewed out pretty bad on the open floor by the postmaster, basically berated me. So basically, take every video down that has that logo on it. And I said, hold on, I wasn't doing it with ill intent. All that, trying to justify myself, because I get why you're mad, but like, let me explain. I saw it on there before I did it. But he would not give me the time or place to talk. And then that's where I started like tensing up, because you're not allowing me to voice my opinion now. And I'm a big guy on voicing. You can be mad at me, but you're going to let me speak.
Yeah, right.
And he didn't. And he berated me. He's like, if I find out you make money on that, and I was just like, what are you attacking me for? Like, it didn't affect my job. It was all in breaks. Some of them were done at home. Right. And he just wouldn't let me talk. And I went into an episode. I went into a freak out episode, and I ended up stripping down. Middle of the winter, I stripped down my whole uniform to my underlayers, and I just sat in the car, and I said, I'm leaving. If you're not going to treat me like a human, I know my worth. Like, I'm out of here. Like, that's ridiculous. And so I went on mental health leave and got this FMLA and all that. And they played around again, more days off. They would force you out of your days off. And fast track to this year. And Labor Day comes around, and our days off rotate. Well, my day off was going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday on Labor Day. And they said, we need you to come in Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And I said, you need to give me at least Monday, so I can have Sunday and Monday with my family. And I can give you 2 days of work. You need to balance that, because that was the big thing. Well, not only did they penalize me for not coming in on Labor Day, the USPS, as a federal employer, stole my holiday pay from me. So now you're messing with my mental game, and now you're messing with my livelihood. That's where I drew the line. Went back to the doctors, got my paperwork fixed and all that stuff. In the notes, I had it written out that said, if I needed to take a day, I can take a day. I have depression. Do not mess with that, right? I go to use the case number for that exact reason. They forced me in on Saturday to say, it's your day off, but we need you to come in. I go to use my number, it gets kicked back. And I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on with that. Fast track Tuesday, they're writing me up. Well, now you're writing me up for something that's contractually mine. And I did nothing wrong. But there's all kinds of things around it that they're not addressing. So why are you targeting me?
What kind of things? Is it any of those things you care to share?
For me, or for something I care to expose?
Yeah, like just in general, like things that you saw that you kind of thought.
Well, being my position, so my position was what they call a relief, and so I would come in on, it's this person's day off, so you're on their route today, or it's that person's day off. Well, there's this one that continuously did it, and every day I'd come in. I have the pictures. I can show them to you after. And they got mad at me for taking a picture of it, but they didn't get mad at the issue itself.
Yeah, right.
So she would get she just that street's too long, or too much mail for that street. So I'm just not gonna do it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I thought delay of mail was a federal crime. So why are you telling me this guy needs to get written up for not coming on his day off, but you're totally turning a blind eye to the girl over there? And so it's not a matter of, oh, I'm afraid to get disciplined, because I know you're not going to fire me. I do a damn good job. My customers love me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do this and go after me for every little thing I do, because you're pretty much harassing someone with depression, because my case number got kicked back. Well, that was because my doctor didn't fax it in. That was a mistake. That's a human error. Right. Give me time to correct it. No, you want to jump me in the office and write me up. So I was like, no, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And so that's where I'm at now, and I'm going to find better opportunities.
And which is a good transition, I guess, sort of into how we met, because I think that's why Zach sent you over here. He felt like maybe we could connect.
Oh, my OnlyFans. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming over after this. $20. I'll bring the 20.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So you were talking a little bit about maybe, I don't know how this is even, if this is doable, but sort of make like a nonprofit group to help veterans, which I was super interested in.
So with the planning of it, I mean, since we've last talked, I've actually had more brainstorming ideas. Um, as far as the nonprofit for the providing of the medicine, that would be a harder avenue to approach.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that Vermonters don't understand is that, you know, as a caregiver, if I were to meet somebody who has a medical card, as their caregiver, I can take over that quantity of plants. So, so say you got, I don't know the exact amount you could have now with card, but whatever it is, say you get like a group of, I don't know, 10, 12 guys that want to grow, right? They all become caregivers. Well, now you have 12 guys who can provide, and gals, sorry, I'm not, you know, but now they can grow more. So as a caregiver facility,
Yeah.
you have the grows being done. So say you have a veteran who needs the medicine but can't afford it, and also does not have the space to grow it.
Yeah.
Well, now we're your sponsors.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it becomes a facility like that. You need the cultivation licenses. That's it. You tier 1 and 2, I think, to have the indoor.
And it's funny because I was just yesterday at an event with Amelia from Green Mountain Patients Alliance and Jeff from VGA, and they are working on expanding the caretaker program. So I should put you in touch with those guys for sure, because they would like to expand the plant count, I believe, for caregivers, which I think is a no-brainer. They would also, because at first you can only have one caretaker and you can only have 2 plants. It's like medical patients need more than that. Like that's
what I mean.
If you make an RSO or something like that, 2 plants ain't gonna fucking cut it.
No.
So I should put you in touch with them.
Yeah, I mean, the more people I can get in touch with, the better. You know, like the plan is out there. It's just a matter of how to organize it. Like that's my problem. Is I have the ideas, but it's just as far as organizing it, it's just hard to get it in order.
Yeah, organization isn't my thing either.
No, it's just shit. I can't even organize my hair. It's just
why? It looks good, man. I like it.
I mean, this is pretty country, ain't it? What do you think about that?
I know, you got the flannel shirt there.
That's right. We all 4 of us got them. We got matching ones. We're cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're a pretty dapper family.
Yeah. Do you have a family picture out in the park with the leaves and the flannel shirts? You gotta have that.
I'm sure we got one somewhere, but
where you're all looking in the same direction.
Who's that? Well, yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you talked to any other veterans around Vermont about sort of putting this together?
Yeah, I'm actually in the works with one. He lives a few roads away from me. We're gonna meet up a little later. He's a former Marine.
Cool.
So we're gonna get, because like a lot of the networking I'm doing is not just, you know, people who grow. Like I want to find people who have the legal background, or someone who has a business background. So that way we can kind of make it like a melting pot.
Yeah.
Because the more you can learn from each other, the more self-reliant you are. And that's the big thing, is once you become self-reliant, because I would like to work it to the point where you get a facility to do, you know, classes, you know, like Thanksgiving meal comes around, or you got like a charity event. And I would love to do like a Veterans Day, like a swap. That's the big goal, is I'd like to get a Veterans Day swap in my area. And
well, the clones and fucking seeds and shit.
Right, all that, you know. Cool. And like because Veterans Day is November, you know, if you want to, you know, link that up, you know, you want to provide some stuff for the holidays in case someone needs like socks or whatever, you know, like a clothing donation. So it would be primarily cannabis, but it wouldn't be our focus. You know what I mean? Like it'd be our backbone, but it wouldn't be the whole nerve system, if that makes sense.
I think that's a great idea, man.
Yeah. So It's
If
a
you
matter
need
of
any
putting
help,
it.
if you need any help putting that together, dude, I probably could
Oh, I
connect you
do.
with some people.
Yeah, I definitely do, because now I got nothing but time on my hands.
Yeah, get a
Literally.
little vacation here.
That's right. That's right. It's a staycation.
So this is what you want to do, huh? You done with the post office?
Oh, I'm absolutely done, because it's not to shame the job. The job itself was good or whatever, but um, we're in a generation now where the whole 9 to 5, dad comes home from work and mom's got dinner already on the table. Let's think of the past, but that doesn't mean that I have to throw my hands up and say, well, this is the way it's got to be. I can make that change. If I have problems being away from my family, so be it. That doesn't make me less of a man. That doesn't make me less of a person. And you certainly aren't going to put a dollar figure in front of my family. So I don't care what numbers you wave saying you're going to pay me time and a half. You can't get that time back. And that's the biggest thing that drives me, is because that's where the trigger comes from. Because people are like, oh, well, you're triggered from the post office. Like, no. The fact is, I'm triggered by those kind of events because I'm a family person, and you don't know if tomorrow's promised. Because the last thing my father said to me was, see you at graduation. Well, then how come I was wearing him on my necklace at my graduation? See what I'm saying? So you can tell me that I'll see you tomorrow, but unless I see you tomorrow, I'm not going to believe you. Actions speak louder than words. You can spit all day that you want to help the veterans, but unless you start doing something, I don't want to hear it. And so people didn't want to hear it from me. So I said, I'm gonna start doing it.
I do see a lot of that. Thank you for your service, not actually helping shit, which is, it's a nice thing to say, but I feel like a lot of that is just like, yeah, like, go away. Thanks for your service. Now I don't have to actually do anything to fucking help you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I have to say this to you.
Yeah, right.
Like, don't make it a point. I'm sorry to burden you, but it's the same thing as, like, I don't want to be walking around there with big old like neon sign saying, "Hey, I'm a veteran."
Right.
But I want veterans to know that they can call. Like, I don't want to be such a name where I'm on billboards, but definitely have the name saved in your contacts. So, and that's all it's about. Is like, I don't really want the monetary. It's like, people think I'm in it for the money, but the thing is, if you're running a nonprofit, that is your full-time thing. So it's like, it's hard to explain to somebody who doesn't understand.
So, I don't know. After everything you've just told me, it doesn't sound like you're going into it for the money.
Well,
unless that was all bullshit.
Like, no, because, like, yeah, dude, it's in the name already. I don't know if I told you that, but the VFW, with the memberships going down on a decline, like I said, generational things. You don't have the Korean War veterans. You don't have World War II veterans going out all the time. We have the new Afghanistan, Iraq war vets, all them, but nobody does that. What if you revitalize the facility? Same concept, right? Veterans for weed.
Oh. Hey, and I mean, enough drinking goes on at VFW, is like,
right, but why not a bud bar too? And but like, with that being like that, as a membership plan, that way it's not like a retail thing, but like as a membership, if you want to get such and such designated into this tent, you want to rent a plot of a tent, well, these plants will be grown in for you. If you want to donate some of that back, that's fine, but that way it's all revolving. And so our own supply is coming from our own members. You see what I'm saying?
Not from the VA.
No.
Yeah.
Not from, but on that note, the VA is open to hearing about it, though.
Yeah, I noticed that recently, and I think Doc said they've actually been doing studies for 10 or 11 years on cannabis, but haven't been able to like share that really. But it does seem like there's been a little bit of movement here in a positive direction,
because they're starting to realize a little more that it's not, the money market of it isn't going to go anywhere with it. So they might as well stop that gig.
Yeah.
So
or at least or at least wet their beak a little.
Well, right. It's one
You're
of those,
never going to stop
beat them,
that.
join them.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. You're never going to stop that illegal market.
Oh God, no. That's going to be the staple
illicit.
of it.
I should have said illicit. We're supposed to say that now.
Oh, geez. Is that a new thing?
Well, I think black market sounded kind of racist, so they changed it off of that. And I think illegal market doesn't work anymore because it's not illegal. So they went with illicit, I think.
Well, I mean, the product itself isn't illegal, but I mean, it's just like if you're selling T-shirts on the street, you don't have a tax ID number, so it's illegal.
Okay. Well, fine. Then I nailed
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Screw them. You
Look,
you want to classify us? You're gonna do it. Let's do it.
look, I'm fine. I'm at the end of my notes here, guy. Um, sorry, I'm fucking exhausted today. What else you got? You got anything else left that you want to touch on? We definitely should pick this up again on a day when I'm a little more fresh. But I
Yeah.
definitely I wanted to get in touch with you. Thanks for being patient there as I fucking rolled in late today. But if
Oh,
there's anything else you'd like to touch on that we missed here, I'd like to give you a chance to jump in on that.
that's pretty much it. If anybody wants to, forward the message and try to, reach more veterans
Hmm.
as much as we can, there is a GoFundMe up, just for the sake of pursuing the licensing and all that.
Where
But
is it up? Where's it up on? Where can we find it?
well, you can find it on TikTok. I have it on my link tree, or if I have it on my Facebook. Most of the accounts are all in there. And then
Okay.
if you want, I can send you the link as well if you want to.
Hmm.
So
Cool.
story's pretty
Yeah,
much on
send me
there.
all that shit. I have a couple people I would send this around to.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely send it your way. And then I think, this dream can be a reality. I know what happened to the last guy that had a dream, but I'm gonna be different.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna come up there and fucking burn one with you sometime soon here.
You should.
All
You
right.
should. Maybe
Uh,
next time you come up in Vermont, we'll have my own business.
Beautiful. That'd be great.
Let's do it.
Cool. Caleb Houston, Vindicated veteran, Swanton, Vermont. Thanks so much for your time, man, and best of luck with all your projects.
Thank you, sir.
Peace.